Before we join the wide receivers and the running backs and the tight ends as a full group to do our routes on air period, what we do is we go to what we call progression period. Here in the progressions, we have the quarterbacks work with one or two guys, whether it be kickers or whether it be receivers available during this period, and go through the quarterback's progressions. Here the quarterback is going through what we call a sweep the board read, where he's starting on his right over here and trying to hit a stick route over here, and then we have that stick route either defended or not to cause the quarterback to either catch and throw to the stick, or in this case here, catch, look at the stick, not there, complete his drop, take 3 more steps, keep a nice wide base, have a slight hitch, and throw it to the outside under. The read would go from a stick to the inside under to the outside under, and then we would get the ball completed and work the quarterback's feet and vision. The next one in the progression is what of that day in particular would be the concept of mills. Mills, we're working 1 to the tight end, we're working 2 to the X on a hook, and then we're working 3 to the back in a check burst. In this case here, the quarterback's reading it based on the hands of the receiver. The coach can stand back here 10 yards behind the quarterback, as you can see in this picture right here, and the coach would indicate a 1, a 2, or a 3 with his hands. If he gives a 1, the first guy, the number 1 receiver in the read, would stick his hands up immediately so the quarterback can time it out properly. The next example is the coach puts a number 2 up, so now the quarterback comes back, drops back, looks to see if number 1 is open. Number 1 does not flash his hand, so the assumption is he's not open. So then the quarterback finds himself number 2 in the progression. The final part of the Fox 2 Mills is now will the coach give a 3? If that's the case, then that means the quarterback drops back. He looks for number 1 when number 1 is not open. Looks for number 2 is not open. And on his second hitch, now he finds number 3, which is the back on a check burst. The third progression, or the third route of the day in this instance here, is what we would call south. South is an under route of 5 yards pushing vertical, coming flat across, to an out route to a check wide, where the back would be on this side, the under would be over here, the out route would be over here, and the tailback would be over here. The quarterback would stand there, or the coach would stand there and let him know whether or not it would be 1, 2, or 3 getting the ball. Here we tell him, don't put your hands up, find the check wide, and go. Quarterback knows that if the under is not there, the check wide has to be, so he delivers him the ball. Here in this final case, we've now incorporated a third member in the drill. Now we've added another defensive player, whether he be a kicker, a punter, or a quarterback available, and we tell him to read this out. And it is his job to either take away the under or the out. Whoever he takes away, the quarterback needs to set his feet and be ready to throw that. If he took away the out route, the quarterback might throw this on the plant. If he wants to throw the out route because the under gets taken away, now the quarterback must hitch once, even possibly twice, to be able to make that throw. The ball should be thrown out wide, outside at 10 to 12 yards. If he's going to make that throw and the throw is not there, just find the back. The final part of the progression concept is the X-ray concept. The X-ray is working off of a hard play action. Here in this case, we've now added a will linebacker into the mix. We put our fullback over here, and our wide receiver is outside of the screen right now, but he is at 18 yards between the hash and, in this case here, the center. As the quarterback drops back and takes a full 7-step, his job is to find the safety. If he feels that the will linebacker then has entered the rush and is not affecting the throw at all, now we have our X standing here at an 18 yards depth, waiting for the football to come his way. If the will linebacker off the play fake turns and runs and tries to look up the X, now we have the fullback in the flat waiting to catch the football. Here you can see a good example of now this will linebacker here does not take the cheese. He backs up and eliminates the opportunity to throw it to the X, because our saying here at the University of Miami is don't ever fight zone dropping linebackers. If you have a linebacker that goes 8 to 10 yards deep, no reason to try to throw over him, just throw around him to the first available running back on either side. In this case here, the fullback's available on a bloody flat, and who knows how many yards we can get. We work these progressions in order to get ready for the next phase of our program, the Routes on Air period.